Gary, what's the greatest misconception about Snow Patrol?
That we're dull, probably.
Yeah.
If people only knew. But that's kind of, we like the misconceptions because they deflect from the from our personal lives. We're very private people, you know. Really, I mean, we're very sociable people, but we like to do that, you know, outside of red carpets and celebrity parties and things like that. That people for a while invited us to, and then just stopped inviting us because we never RSVP'd. So I mean,
So you think people think that you're dull as people or as musically?
I don't know, both probably. But I mean, I think people, Chasing Cars did so well and was so ubiquitous that a lot of people made up their own minds from one song.
Right.
And
Soft pop.
Yeah. I mean, if they come and see us live, they'll be, you know, very surprised about how hard and heavy that we are most of the time.
And always have been a rock band, even, you know.
Exactly. But you know, I don't really.
Does it work in the inverse? It's like the kids who come to just want to, you know, they're like, I thought this was going to be a soft rock show. I thought I was going to get ballads all night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You know, it's if they, you know, we're going to surprise an awful lot of people with the next single, Just Say Yes, which is very, very different again. And I think 100 Million Suns itself was very different to Eyes Open. But, I mean, Just Say Yes is completely and utterly... That's why we almost had the idea of putting a history out now, because if we're writing songs like Just Say Yes, which is sort of almost veering towards dance music, it's like there are no limits to what we can do, what we can turn our hands to, and you know, so... We need to draw a line, as Nathan says, under it now, so that we can look towards the future. Because if we don't, then people are just going to be completely and utterly confused. Because we're not ever going to make the same music, you know, that we did before. You know, that's just the bottom line.
I asked you about mentoring younger bands. You're also in the unique position to be taking advice from your elders who you tour with. I'm thinking of Elbow, but and more specifically, in particular, U2, who you've been spending some time with. What have you learned by traveling with those guys?
Well, we don't travel with them,
right.
But we
appearing with them.
I mean, they are every single thing that you need to know about performing, writing, being in a band, conducting yourself. It's all in U2. You don't need to look anywhere else if you want to see the exact perfect model for being in a band. The way they treat the support band, the way they are with their crew, with their management, with the catering people, you know, with every person in that whole gigantic operation is treated with the same respect and love and treated like family. And when you join that tour, if you're not an asshole, you get treated with exactly the same respect as well. And it's like you know, we go in there and just basically have the time of our lives, because it's like it's sort of a utopia, really. They have built themselves into a situation where their rules are kind of sacrosanct, you know. It's just, this is the way it is. And if every band was like that, and if every band treated other bands like that, then music would be a wonderful place to live all the time. And I can't speak more highly of them.
No, it's a great testament to them that you feel that strongly. And what about musically?
Musically,
you learn from the music?
I mean, on stage, it's like
you must. I mean, I'm thinking Irish kids. You must have grown up.
Yeah,
like you're sort of living a dream, right? You're touring with U2,
yeah,
who you grew up, I would imagine, idolizing.
Yeah. Of course, you know, and when you see them on stage, I mean, I learned so much in terms of like just being a front man. You know, you have to play to the back row. You have to make the stadium as small as you possibly can. You know, and Bono's sort of watchword is always kind of intimacy. You know, and if you can just find intimacy in a place as big as, you know, a 60,000 seater stadium, then, you know, that is kind of the holy grail. You know, if you make
they've really figured out how to do that. As have Coldplay.
Yeah.
It's amazing watching those guys.
what you watching you too as well. As guys said, that, you know, there's 4 lessons going on stage. You pick any member of that band and watch them at a gig. You know, you're just learning from every single one of them. You know, and it's just an incredible thing to see. It's mind blowing, but it's you know, it's without making you jealous. It's inspirational. You know, without going.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you literally can't be jealous
of you
two. It's just, you know, they're just they've set they have their own bracket where their music lives, and it's quite far above anyone else.
I know you guys are going to play for us live, and I'm happy that you've chosen to do so. Let me just ask you, this forthcoming record, it's called Up to Now, which suggests that there's an after now that's going to come. Where do you feel like you're at on the Snow Patrol journey, 15 years in?
I would say, if I'm making a prediction, I would say halfway through. Music is changing, the way people get music, the way... well, basically everything. Life is changing, of course. I mean, our whole world is
changing,
infinitely different from what it was 5 years ago. You know, like, and music's no different. You know, in fact, music kind of almost has sped away from everything, out of control. You know, the record companies are in wild panic, you know, at the moment, because they nobody can put the reins on it. So so we'll see what happens in the next few years, you know, but it's our intention, it's our every intention to keep making music.
But in the documentary, we're at the half hour.
I think we're at the half hour point. Yeah. It's what is it?
Coming up after the break.
Behind the music.
Gary tries to hang himself.
Like Buddy's meltdown. yeah, for sure.
It's well, it's a good pleasure to have you here. The record, the current album is called 100 Million Suns. The new record, Up to Now, the retrospective, comes out on November 11th. It's got some new tunes included. What are you going to play for us?
I guess we'll see
when you walk over there.
When we walk over
I thought you were going to play Crack the Shutters.
We'll play Crack the Shutters. Sure, we'll do that. Yeah,
all right. Well, unless you want to play something else.
Let's do that.
Okay.
All right. Snow Patrol in Studio Q. Gary Lightbody, Nathan Connolly making their way over to their guitars and positions.